In 1930, Clyde Tombaugh looked through this homemade 9-inch Newtonian telescope and identified a faint speck of light drifting against the background stars. He had discovered a world orbiting billions of miles beyond Neptune, a find that contemporary tools could only begin to resolve. Pluto's eventual reclassification was a direct result of our expanding view of the solar system. It was not moved to a new category because it was small, but because it was the first discovery in a vast, previously unknown population of icy bodies. This population formed 4 billion years ago, during a period of extreme gravitational instability. As a massive blue Neptune migrated outward, it acted as a wrecking ball, throwing Pluto into a tilted, eccentric orbit at the edge of the system. This event exiled Pluto to the Kuiper Belt, a circumstellar disk of scattered icy remnants and debris left over from the formation of the Sun and planets. Pluto stands as the ultimate survivor of the gravitational sorting that defined the early solar system. Pluto moved into the outer solar system alongside a massive partner named Charon, a moon so large it changes the mechanical behavior of the entire system. Pluto only has about 8 times the mass of Charon, a gravitational relationship found nowhere else in the solar system. Because Charon is so heavy, the two bodies revolve around a shared pivot point in empty space called the barycenter. The presence of this shared orbital center proves that Pluto is one half of a complex binary system. Before July 2015, the scientific model for Pluto was straightforward. Because it was so far from the Sun, researchers expected a dead world, a heavily cratered, frozen sphere with no internal activity. Data from the New Horizons flyby immediately invalidated that model. The probe revealed vast reflective ice sheets and complex shifting flows that were entirely devoid of ancient impact scars. This specific region is Sputnik Planitia. It is a basin 1,000 kilometers wide, filled with a massive glacier of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide ices. The total absence of craters in this basin proves the surface is actively regenerating, requiring a total reassessment of how small, cold worlds function. This creates a physical puzzle. How does a world maintain geological activity without a molten core? The solution is convection. Trace amounts of radioactive heat trapped deep beneath the crust are enough to warm the lower layers of the nitrogen glacier. This nitrogen ice behaves like a giant lava lamp. Warmed material slowly rises to the surface, cools, and then sinks back down at the margins of these polygonal cells, constantly resurfacing the planet from the inside out. This geological turnover proves internal energy can sustain a world long after the sun's warmth fades. Convection is only one part of the internal engine. In some regions, internal pressures become so great they rupture the surface entirely. Pluto is home to cryovolcanoes, massive mountains that erupt a viscous slurry of water ice, ammonia, and methane instead of molten rock. These features demonstrate that Pluto possesses a level of geological complexity matching the rocky planets of the inner solar system. 5 billion years into the future, the Sun will exhaust its current hydrogen fuel supply. As it enters the red giant phase, the Sun will expand and incinerate the inner planets. This expansion will push the habitable zone, the region where liquid water can exist, outward to the very edge of the solar system. This shift will bring the thermal radiation required for liquid water to the Kuiper Belt for the first time in history. While the inner solar system is destroyed, Pluto will experience a brief period of warming. As surface temperatures rise, the icy landscape will begin to transform. The nitrogen ice of Sputnik Planitia will vaporize, creating a hazy atmosphere that further traps the sun's heat. For a fleeting window of a few million years, the dwarf planet will host vast liquid oceans under a warm, stable atmosphere. This environment will vanish as the sun exhausts its energy and collapses into a dim white dwarf, cutting off the heat supply. The oceans will freeze, the atmosphere will collapse, and Pluto will return to its state as a silent, frozen sentinel in the dark.